on the mountain, in the valley, in the crowded streets, or the empty desert. In our hope and in our waiting, we are never alone. God is with us.
Hello and welcome back to 28 Days in the Book of Matthew. Today is day 24 and we're going into Matthew chapter 24. Now these chapters here, 24 and 25 specifically, have been shared with over and over again in communication about the coming of Jesus once again. And so Matthew 24 has a lot for us to unpack, but just want to kind of get the gist of it here and what spoke to me this morning. Jesus is there talking with his disciples and he points to the temple and he says, look, I tell you that not one stone will remain as it is. Everything will fall down. And here in this section here of Matthew 24, Jesus begins to share in twofold what things will happen to one, the temple, and two, at the second coming, or in preparation, anticipation, in the leading up to the second coming. And so he goes down and he says, look, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, but this is not the end. And there's going to be earthquakes and famines and pestilences in various places, but this is just like birth pains, right? It's not the labor, it's not the having of the baby yet, it's not the birth yet. These are birth pains, the contraptions that happen leading up to this. Just be aware, he's saying, of what is going to happen. But as the story continues, as his message continues with his disciples, he gets to this point and he mentions it over and over again where he says, look, in verse 36 of Matthew 24, but about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father knows. And then later on in verse 44, so you also must be ready because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. He says, look, listen to me. You will not know when I will come for sure. You can tell by the signs. You can tell just by looking outside your window. You can tell by watching the news today that the world is becoming a place that the love of many is growing cold, as he says in this chapter. But you will never know for sure when that day comes. You know what? You'll know when I come, and when I'm coming, Jesus says, when you see me coming, that's when you'll know for sure. So Jesus is trying to push his disciples not to date set, not to be so focused on what is going on and is this it? But he says, no, as we'll see at the end of this chapter and in chapter 25, he's more worried about how we're living than us figuring out when he's coming. Because no one knows exactly the time. Many people have tried to guess and guesstimate and hypothesize this is his coming in 2 years, in 4 years, and in 8 years. Now we know that Jesus' coming is very soon. We see the signs around us, but we don't know exactly the day or the hour, the month or the year. But the one thing we can know in this time is that God wants us to be ready every single day. He wants us to stay alert. He wants us to be active in loving others and serving others. And he ends chapter 24 with the parable of a wise and faithful servant who his master goes on a trip, and while there they continue to work because look, they said, my master didn't tell us when he's coming back, but we must work and continue to work as though he may come back every single day. The foolish and evil servant looks at that and says he's not going to come for a while, begins to get drunk and treat and mistreat his the evil servant looks around and thinks, he's not coming soon. Let me just get drunk and mistreat the other servants here. And we begin to see that Jesus is setting up the stage to say, hey, look, don't be so fixated on figuring out when I'm coming. Instead, be more about how you should be living as you wait. And in chapter 25, we're going to go more into that as to what we should be doing as we wait. But the confidence that we have is that Jesus will come again. That just as surely as he left the first time, he will come back for us and take us home. So rest assured that as the things around us in this world get hard, and Jesus says it's going to get tough, it's going to get unbearable, and God's going to intervene at just the right time, but continue to hold on, continue to have faith. God will bring you to where He needs you to go. God will continue to keep you until that day that He comes back. But in the meantime, as we wait, let us be like the faithful and wise servant in going about our Father's business, in loving others and treating others well. May you have a wonderful day. God bless.